Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Pulp Crazy. I'm your host, Jason Aiken. The supernatural theme of episodes continues this week with the Tale of Satampra Zeiros by Clark Ashton Smith. It first appeared in the November 1931 issue of Weird Tales. It's the first published entry of Smith's Hyperborean cycle. Smith's Hyperborea is a fantasy setting for modern-day Greenland, before it was covered in ice. It's a lost age similar to Robert E. Howard's Hyperborean age. In Howard's Hyperborean age, there is even a country called Hyperborea on the Hyperborean age map that Howard drew. However, Robert E. Howard's Hyperborea and Smith's Hyperborea are not the same place. Both derive their name from the Greek legends of the Hyperboreans, who were a mythic race that lived beyond the North Wind. Clark Ashton Smith is a part of Weird Tales' Big Three, which included Robert E. Howard and H.P. Lovecraft. The three of them form the trinity of Golden Age Weird Tales writers. Sadly, Smith isn't nearly as well known as Howard or Lovecraft. This might be due to none of his creations having gone mainstream. Howard has Conan, Lovecraft has Cthulhu, but Clark Ashton Smith's work has yet to reach the mainstream audience. The closest thing to an iconic character that Smith created is Tsathoggua, the primordial toad god of Hyperborea. It's no surprise that Tsathoggua is featured in the opening story of the Hyperborean cycle, the Tale of Satampra Zeiros. The Tale of Satampra Zeiros feels a lot like a tabletop fantasy role-playing quest. It features two thieves, the titular Satampra Zeiros and his partner, Turov Ompalios. The two get liquored up one night and think it's a good idea to head to the deserted city of Comorium to steal some treasure on the following day. The capital city of Comorium has been long abandoned due to a prophecy of doom that was made in the past. The two make the journey, but encounter more than they bargained for when they reach the suburbs of Comorium and the Temple of Tsathoggua. I thought this was a great story, and I think fantasy fans will eat it up. Having recently read the original Adept's Gambit story by Fritz Leiber featuring Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser, I can see a bit of an influence of Smith on Leiber. Don't get me wrong though, Smith's thieves are no way the dashing rogues that Fafhrd and the Mouser are. It appears that H.P. Lovecraft was a fan of Tsathoggua, because he brought the deity into a Cthulhu mythos story he ghost wrote for Zelia Bishop called The Mound, which I hope to be covering in a future episode. I'll put a link to audio, e-text, and e-book versions of this story in the show notes. One of these will be an MP3 file I made from a real media file that is available on the Eldritch Dark, a Clark Ashton Smith fan site. I made the MP3 in case people can't open the real media file, since that format is long dead. I'll also link to an episode of the Double Shadow podcast that discusses the Tale of Satampra Zeiros. The Double Shadow podcast was a Clark Ashton Smith-centric podcast that did a really great job of going over his stories in a roundtable fashion. Well, that's it for this week's episode. Pulp Crazy is located at pulpcrazy.com. I'm at Pulp Crazy on Twitter and facebook.com/pulpcrazy. You can also email me at pulpcrazy@gmail.com. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.